Wisp Sports Radio, the voice of women in sport.
This is Season 1, Episode 23 of Hockey Talk on Wisp Sports. I'm Shannon Miller, and at Wisp Sports, we believe women in sport deserve equal coverage. I'm delighted to announce my sponsor, Yugo. Yugo is a company started up by two women who invented a great product that can be valuable to everyone. Let's hear more about Yugo.
Have you ever thought you had the best protection for your phone only to find it failed? Yugo to the rescue, the only waterproof life jacket for your phone using a dry suit zipper closure. Your phone has full functionality while inside, and best of all, Yugo floats. Use promo code HockeyTalk and check us out at yugowear.com. That is UGOWEAR.com.
Today's guest is four-time Olympic gold medalist Carolyn Ouellette. Carolyn is also an NCAA champion, both as an athlete and a coach, and is looked to as a leader in women's hockey globally. In today's episode, we will talk about keys to being an elite athlete, lessons learned from success and failure, accepting your role, handling pressure, and naturally transitioning to coaching. This week's drill of the week is a great 4v4 keep-away drill called Corner Keep Away. This drill will be posted on my Facebook page at Coach Shannon Miller on Thursday. Now, this will be the last actual drill that I post this season, but next week I will end the drill of the week segment with a posting of several books that would be a good read for coaches and or athletes in the off-season. Thank you for joining me. I'm honored to have my own hockey podcast show on Wisp Sports and to be part of the most popular and influential podcast organization for women in sports globally. Today's podcast is titled Nuggets of Knowledge for Elite Athletes and Coaches. I'd like to welcome a four-time Olympic gold medalist as our guest today, Carolyn Ouellette. Carolyn also competed at 12 World Championships, winning gold in 6 and silver in 6. Carolyn is also an NCAA champion, both as an athlete and a coach. Carolyn played for me at UMD, winning a national championship, and then came back and coached with me and won another NCAA championship. A great athlete, coach, and human being. Welcome, Carolyn Ouellette.
Hi, Coach. Thank you for having me. I'm looking forward to this conversation with you.
Oh, good. Me too. So, Carolyn, you were a great young player in Quebec. We recruited you, and you played for us at UMD. You had a very successful college career as a talented player, a trusted teammate, and a great leader. How did you become so strong in all of those areas at such a young age?
Well, I think I was fortunate. When I came to UMD, I was already on the national women's team, and I had just returned from the Salt Lake Olympic Games. And thankfully, you didn't give up on me. You kept recruiting me. So when I came on my visit, everything felt right. I felt like you would challenge me, you would teach me leadership, you would grow me as a better teammate and leader. And that's exactly what I needed. I needed to get out of my comfort zone. And it was quite a challenge because back then I didn't speak English at all. I had never written a paper in English. But within my first month at UMD, I had already made incredible friends and got so much better in English. And I loved every minute of it, of my college career and everything and everyone that I learned there, that I met there.
That's awesome, Carolyn, and it speaks to you. It speaks to your character. You came in with such an open mind, and like you said, English was your second language, but you were very open. You wanted to be coached up, you wanted to be pushed, and you wanted to learn from everyone around you as well as share everything that you had. And I attribute a lot of that to the way you were raised, but specifically your attitude at that point in your life. So I can tell you, out of all of the players I've ever coached in my lifetime, you are one of my favorite human beings, and you will remain so for all time. After you graduated, I was fortunate to have you come back and be an assistant coach for a few years, and you were remarkable to work with. How did being a great player help you transition to become a great coach?
I think that I became a much better and complete player at UMD. playing under you, having the challenge of playing halfback in the torpedo system really helped me become a more complete player. And to be honest, before I came to UMD, I didn't know really what leadership meant. I had been a captain, I had been an assistant captain, but it was mostly because I was a good hockey player. And you taught me that being a leader meant getting out of yourself, of your own performance, and making sure that everyone was going in the right direction, everyone was doing well, everyone was feeling like they were contributing to the success of the team. So I think that I learned that at UMD, playing with players my age, playing with some of my best friends still to this day. So I think that for the first time at UMD, I was exposed to coaching as a profession. You know, growing up, it was something that you did as a volunteer. So when you offered me the opportunity to come back as a coach, I was so excited, and I couldn't wait to begin. And I always remember what you said. One of the first things you said to me was, Caroline, my greatest challenge is to mentor you so that one day you can become your own head coach. And I'll never forget that moment. And you truly trusted me with many important facets of the play and helped me develop as a coach as well. And that made me a better player for the years that I had left on the national team.
Oh, that's wonderful to hear. Well, for everyone listening, Caroline, you were very easy to coach and to coach with, again, because of your attitude, being so open and just wanting to get better in all areas. And yeah, great career as an athlete, and you're continuing on to have a great career as a coach, which of course I'm so proud of you. Now, let's talk about Team Canada a little bit. So you played on Team Canada for so many years, and in doing so, you've experienced so much success and some so-called failures, which I don't think are failures, but I'll let you talk about that. So you share some of the lessons that you've learned from winning and losing with Team Canada, please.
Yes, for sure. It's been an incredible privilege to play for the national women's team for 16 years. And through those years, I was able to go to 12 World Championship and 4 Olympic Games. And, you know, you mentioned it, but I won 6, and I came home 6 times with silver. And in our sport, unfortunately, it's really seen as failure, because we have such an intense and great rivalry with the Americans that it's often a 1-goal game. So often we came on the short side, and some of the times we didn't deserve a better fate. So it's for me, it's always been about that. You know, how do you feel about your performance looking back? Was it a gold medal performance? When you can say yes to that, usually the results take care of itself, and you're pretty proud of what you're bringing back home. But when you don't perform well for so many reasons, then often you're not going to beat a team that's absolutely great, just as good as you are. So I think that every time that we didn't win, it motivated us in our training and motivated us to look at the way we were doing things, to make some adjustments, some changes. Every Olympic year, we were able to really train together hard and play close to 60 games, which prepared us for the Olympics as best as any other team. So for me, it's always been such a close battle. And for the Americans, because they had lost 4 Olympics in a row, they were motivated in their training, and that built a team that wanted to change their fate. So it was never easy games, but on the other end, they were the favorite games in my career.
Oh, yeah, that's awesome. Well, and we all know, too, that if Team Canada raises the bar and wins, then it's pretty much you can, you know, next year it's Team USA that raises the bar and wins. You guys kind of go back and forth and continue to raise the bar for each other. And I know that both programs have so much respect for the other program as you continue to lead women's hockey in the world. So, Caroline, for all those years playing on the national team, your role must have changed over the years. So talk about how your role changed and how did you adjust?
Yeah, for sure. I think that I can honestly say that I experienced everything on the national team. My first Olympic Games in 2002, it was a final game filled with penalties. We almost spent half of the game down a player. And at that time, I didn't play in that situation. And of course, I would have liked to. I think as athletes, we're pretty selfish. We want to feel like we contribute in in every situation. So, but I'm so proud that I can say today that I chose to be a good teammate, to cheer my teammates on, to try to give them energy, because I realized that day that no one remembers who played and even who scored our winning goals, but people still remember that we won that game, penalty after penalty, playing with calm and composure. And that game actually motivated me to want to go back to the Olympics and become a player that the coach could trust in every situation. In Torino in 2006, I had just graduated from UMD, and I had a great challenge. I was moved back to defense, and you prepared me for that. And looking back, that was one of the greatest things that happened to me, because it made me understand and appreciate the role of defense, which is the hardest, in my opinion, after goaltending. And I had a great year that year. I became one of the young leaders on the team. I was at my prime, and same thing with Vancouver. I felt great. I was at center there, so I felt like I played pretty much in every position, trying to help my team. And then Sochi, I was the captain, but I wasn't on the top two lines. And, it was okay for me. I accepted that. I wanted to do whatever it took to make the team better. And that often meant forgetting about my own little performance and getting out of myself to make sure everyone was feeling confident, everyone was feeling good. And I think that probably helped making a difference, or having more of a united team going into Sochi, because we dealt with so much adversity that year.
Yes, you did. And I heard that you provided great leadership, as did many of your teammates. So congratulations for that. It's difficult for people that have never competed at the Olympics, whether they haven't competed as an athlete or a coach, or just been at the Olympics at all in a competitive mode. There's so much pressure. I mean, there is so much pressure on the players, the captains of the team, and of course the coaching staff. So what was your approach in handling pressure as an Olympic athlete?
No, you're absolutely right. There's a lot of pressure, because we don't have the luxury of a best of 7. We go to the Olympics, and there's no easy game. When I think about Sochi, after the second period against Finland, it was 0-0. We pulled away in the third. So Finland can cause a surprise. Sweden has done it in the past. So there's no easy games anymore. And when you get to that one final game, as I mentioned before, you want to feel ready. If you feel ready, if you feel like you've done every single little things to be prepared, including your nutrition, your off-ice training, you've seen every situation on ice possible, you know exactly how to respond, how to act, then you feel ready. And when that game starts, it's just time to show it. And I find that at that level, the biggest difference is often in the players' confidence. And for us, we often exchange games against the US. So whether we've won, then you want to build on that. What did you do well to get away with a win? And then when you lose, okay, what can you do better? Because to be honest, we can play each other 100 times and it can go different ways. It can be 50-50. So in that one game, doing the little details, blocking shots, little chips out of the zone when it matters. That's the little things that you have to celebrate, and the energy that you have on the bench. I always remember Sochi, we were down by 2, but the energy on the bench was great. People were positive. They were cheering one another on. And when we scored that first goal, it just gave us so much energy, and slowly the momentum started to shift. So a game of hockey is really not over until it's really over.
Well, and Carolyn, isn't that the truth, that the players that are on the bench that aren't playing, they can either suck energy out of you, the players and the coaches and the team, or they can give you energy and pump you up and give you that spark that you need for your next shift and go out there and take care of the win. Aren't those players key at all times?
Absolutely. It's such an important aspect, because exactly as you said, I call them energy vampires. And is it easy to be on the bench and not play? Absolutely not. But your attitude is always a choice, and you choose to give energy around you. You choose what you're going to bring to a team, and you choose to see that as a contribution. I think that everyone can find a way that they can have an impact on their teammates, on their team, on their coaches. And that's on that's by being a great teammate, by being positive, by showing the coaches that no matter what, you'll be ready to go. And I know that as a young coach, if I see someone pouting, they're not going to go in. And some players think that, oh, I'll show my coach that I'm mad, so they give me a chance. That's not how I operate. I want people that are good people, that are going to put the team before themselves. Show me that, and then I'll trust you when I need you. And you always have to be ready.
Absolutely. And Carolyn, just so you know, that's my approach as well, as you know, because we've worked together. And any coach I've ever talked to that is very successful has that same attitude and approach about those players that are playing or are not playing. And you called it the energy vampire. Is that what you called it?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. And the way I talk about it is I'll say you can either be a black hole and you're just sucking energy, everybody's energy into that black hole in the middle of the bench, or you can be that outer spark. And the inner spark to me is the inner motivation. When you motivate yourself, the outer spark is motivating others, and you need that on a team that's going to win, especially in big games.
And Coach, if I can add, our national championship win in 2008, I think you had this incredible ability to keep those players feeling involved, feeling important. And, I felt that year we needed them. We needed them to play important roles towards the end. So if you have coaches that give up on those players and don't pay any attention to them, then they don't feel valued, they don't feel needed, and they might not feel connected to the team. And, thinking about some of our seniors, some of our leaders that were on the third, fourth line that ended up playing such important roles in that championship win. And I think that you created that environment for success for everyone.
Well, I thank you for that, Carolyn. I think it's extremely important that everyone's in the boat and rowing in order for us to win. And that way it makes it more fun for everybody. And thank you for remembering that. And thank you for noticing. So there's a lot of different personalities and egos on an elite team. We've touched on it a little bit, but you've been a captain and a team leader many times. Now you're coaching. So give us some examples of issues you dealt with and how you dealt with them with regards to the different personalities or egos. Anything specific you can share?
Yeah, I think that's always the challenge for coaches, is getting people that are different, people that maybe don't get along outside the ring to play together and to do it well. And I think that our greatest challenge is to get the players to embrace the goal that they want, that they set, the expectations that they set for themselves. And your job is to guide them towards that. And sometimes it's about having courageous conversations with people that are not walking in the tracks, walking in the path that the team has decided to take. And I've learned working with you, working with Julie Chu, that great coaches don't let those situations linger. They address them right away. They meet with those players. They don't let it go. And coaching this year with Perry Pern as a young coach is exactly like that. He's so honest. He's holding his best player to his youngest rookie to the same standards, to the same expectations as far as handling the puck, as not creating turnovers. And when they happen, he addresses it. And that's been really refreshing. And for me as a young coach, it's given me a lot of courage to continue in the same path. And right when I took the Canadian over with Daniel Sauvageau, it was one of the first things that I said. I said, ladies, I can continue to show you video of great things that you do, but that's not how we're going to get better. And we've been showing a lot of video where we can get better, where we need to be better, and to see the change, to see the attention to details now after they've seen those clips where it was obvious that we weren't doing our job properly. So I think it's important. That's how we grow. That's how we get better, by seeing things that we can do better as a team.
Yeah, Carolyn, that's excellent. And they're so fortunate to have you as a coach with that program, as well as I know you're working with Team Canada, like you mentioned, with Perry Pern. And they are fortunate that you have retired as an athlete And you've come back, and you've come back as a great coach, and you're going to have I know you're going to have a great coaching career ahead of you. And it's wonderful that you're giving accolades to coaches that you have worked with and learned from, and then you'll find your own way as well. So that leads us right into, in my opinion, what you were just talking about is like a championship attitude, a championship approach to getting ready to be champions. So what does a championship attitude mean to you?
Well, for me, first of all, it's the best players that I've coached or played with, they love the game. They love the game, to do everything that it took to go on the ice before practice, to stay after, to work in all the little details of their game. They understood that no matter their age, they could still get better in different areas. For example, leadership is something you can always get better. And I think that starts with that, the work ethic to outworking everyone, to pushing and challenging your teammates in practice, to practice like you play. And then lastly, I think wanting to win above everything and being willing to do whatever it takes and to accept any role that is given to you by the coaches. And when you have those three things and you have it throughout your whole team, then that's when you're going to be successful.
Yes, exactly. And you just mentioned winning. So there's a big difference between a winning mindset and any other kind of mindset for an athlete or a coach. What is your winning mindset?
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. There's a huge difference between having a winning mindset and playing like you are afraid to lose. And for me, I think it's always been about coming out strong, coming out confident, making sure that everyone feels ready to go. And when you get to that big game, it's only time to show it. It's only time for us to let our players play in all their creativity, play in all their talent, and not overthinking things. And I think that it starts with that mindset that you feel confident, you feel prepared, you've trained hard on and off the ice. And when it's showtime, then it's just time to prove that you're the better team.
Yes. And Carolyn, was your winning mindset different when you were an athlete versus now as a coach?
No, I think I'm just as competitive. Sometimes I almost feel like I wish I could, go there and be an athlete again and play in those big games. But I just, I can get just as much adrenaline preparing for a big game and wanting my athletes to feel ready. And I think understanding that the staff is so important as far as how we carry ourselves, how well we work together. I think that when a staff is not connected, the athletes feel it underneath. So us being calm, being composed, being confident, being relaxed is really important for our athletes to see. And that being said, you can still be intense and be ready to go and be ready to battle. And that's always, I think, how I've been as an athlete. And I don't think I'm different as a coach.
No, I would imagine not. Now, Caroline, I'm going to throw in a personal story here about when I coached you in college, okay? And it's after a loss, so get ready for this. We were in St. Cloud. Yeah, St. Cloud, and we were a much better team with regards to on paper. We had more talent, and we had far more success than St. Cloud. We go in and we barely play, we barely show up, and we lose. And one of the things I always tried to teach the college players is, hey, this is your documentary and you're the star of the show. And so when you look back at your 4 years in college, what do you want to see? What do you want that documentary to be about? So whether you're playing or not playing a lot, you're the star of the show. And after we lost that game, we met the next morning. We had a video session and I put you in the front row and you were the star of the show of that video production, were you not?
Where I was bad?
You don't remember that?
Kind of, now that you mention it. Maybe it feels familiar, but tell me.
It was a long time ago. And so the reason I chose you is because you were so open and so strong that I knew that you could handle it. And so, you know how you just talked about as a coach now with the Lake Canadiens, you're showing, hey, here's where we need to get better if we want to win. It's not about negativity and it's not about being mean. It's about saying, hey, here's our weaknesses. Here's where we didn't play well or we didn't do this well. And this is what we need to do to win. And so we had a team meeting and we had it before breakfast. And you're used to having the team meeting and video sessions after breakfast. We had it before breakfast to make a point. I made you sit in the front row because you were the best player and the leader. And we showed video of how bad we were the night before and what we had to do to be better that night. And you had smoke coming out of your ears while you were sitting in the front row, but you took it like a champion. And it's not that you played any worse than anybody else. I just knew that you could handle it. And so I did show other areas of breakdown and other people making really bad mistakes that cost us a game. But I led with you because you were the leader. And it made all the difference in the world. And we came out that night. We just absolutely crushed them. We played with smiles on our faces and intensity to win. And a championship attitude, an attitude about winning, mindset. And you led the team that night, not me. You did.
Yeah, for sure. And you know, thinking back, I've always felt like you knew which buttons to push with me to get the best out of me. And I think sometimes, for sure, that involves taking your best player and using them as an example. And I've done it myself. And I know which players that I can use that are going to respond and that going to have the I'll show you attitude. And I think that I was like that. And I now that you mention it, I remember the second game where we blew them off and at least finished that weekend on a great note. And for me, it's everyone is going to have average games, and it's how you respond the next day. And the best players in the world, they are able to park it and to focus on the now and be ready when the next challenge happens.
Yes, and you could do that already in college, which is unusual, just so you know. There are a few special athletes that come through that can already handle that at the college level, and you were one of them.
I sure have, and I really, really enjoyed it. It spoke to me and to what I hope my daughter is going to grow up to be, is someone strong, powerful, confident, someone that knows that the sky's the limit, that you can dream whatever you want to achieve and make it happen. And someone like Serena Williams has truly done that for tennis and for all female athletes in the world. So I've really enjoyed it. And I think it's about us continuing to push and to demand more as far as media coverage, as far as how we are portrayed in the media. You know, I think it's it's okay for us to be emotional and to feel whatever we feel. And it's no different than many male athletes that have lost it at some times. And unfortunately, we seem to be more on the spotlight when it happens to a woman. And that really makes me angry when I see that.
Yes, and unfortunately, it's been common for a long time, and it remains so. But now the spotlight is on it, which is great. And we're all talking about gender bias. It's a popular conversation to be having right now in society. So, Carolyn, I know the type of human being that you are. I know you're doing things to help create social change. Let's talk about some of the things that you're doing, and feel free to just share any guidance to people that are listening and things that they can do to help create this social change of gender bias.
Well, I truly believe in the power of sport to prepare kids to the real adult life, to prepare them for going to school and feeling confident and strong and having the ability to work as a team. So one of my mission has always been to get more girls to try hockey, to convince parents to let them try. And I have a not-for-profit that's a hockey tournament for novice, Adam, and Pee-wee. So keeping those young girls in hockey and having them see all the possibilities in the game and everything that they could experience if they go as far as they can. And throughout that event, we also have a try hockey program. I had a record 60 girls registering for that this year. So that makes me really proud, because I know that through sport, we are building the next generation of female leaders. And I think that can go out to everyone, for teachers, for youth, sport organizations, involve more girls, make sure they are accepted and respected, and Coach, I truly felt the difference in my career as far as even how boys see female athletes. Early in my career, they would look at us and be thinking, women should not play hockey. Women cannot play the game well. And I think with the Vancouver Olympic Games, that changed completely. And now there's just as much young boys than young girls that come to us, that want pictures, that want autographs. You know, I have young boys coming to my hockey camp, and you know, it's so funny because I always remember that, but two of them last summer, they were dressed head to toe in my gear. So here they are going to school with Caroline Ouellette hockey, you know, and they're proud of that. They think I'm amazing. And, you know, that didn't used to be the case. And now for young boys, it's absolutely normal for a girl to play hockey. So those young girls will grow up respecting women and respecting their place in sport.
Yes, isn't that wonderful? So, Caroline, you are a 4-time Olympic gold medalist, but your greatest accomplishment, in my opinion, is that you have carried and birthed a child, Liv. You and partner Julie Chu have a child and are both actively coaching while raising Liv. Tell us a little bit about little Liv and what your lives are like now.
It's just the best. We absolutely love it. And it is the greatest challenge that you'll go through in your life, but it's also the most wonderful moment. And excuse me, she's absolutely adorable. She's fun. She's curious, and she's making us really happy.
Good. Well, you and Julie are both great human beings. I know you'll be great mothers. I love to talk about coaching and winning and championship attitude, but I have to tell you, I'm far more interested in little Liv and how you're enjoying parenting and what your vision is for little Liv. You guys are Olympians. You and Julie are both Olympians. You must have these little visions dancing in your head about what little Liv's going to be like as she grows up and what she's going to do. Want to share that with us?
Little Liv already has a lot of character. She's gonna be strong and independent, I'm sure. But you know, we would love for her to find a sport that she loves, because Julie and I both believe in the power of sport, and just seeing her grow, it's incredible how fast it goes, and seeing her being so sociable with everyone, hugging our players. Our teammates, our co-coaches, and having just a whole new generation of athletes with kids. You know, I think about Catherine Ward, Mélodie Daou. There's more and more child around the team, and I think that's absolutely incredible. And as one of my teammates told me from Sochi, you know, you and Julie show us that it's possible to have a career in hockey and have a family as well. And is it always easy? No, it's not, but we love each other. We love Liv more than anything, so we make it work. And we have this huge family of support around us. Everyone is willing to help. Everyone is willing to take care of little Liv when we need to, and it's been absolutely a blessing.
Well, that is beautiful, and that is amazing. Now, Caroline, we're recording this show ahead of the weekend, ahead of the Clarkson Cup. So I want our listeners to know that, and I want to wish you good luck heading into the Clarkson Cup. Do you want to talk about that challenge that you have in front of you right now?
Yeah, for sure. I think it's a great privilege to have the chance to play in the final of the CWHL. There are many, many great teams, and we finished second just behind Calgary. We had incredible games against them this season, back and forth, great hockey, offensive hockey, and it's going to be a great game, I think, for hockey fans. So for us, it's about just fine-tuning the little details of our game, having everyone feel ready to go, feel confident, because we know it's going to be a fast-paced game, and we want to make sure that collectively we are the better team.
Yes, and it's a guarantee. I agree, because it's going to be fast, creative, and entertaining hockey. So, Caroline, thank you for being our guest today, and best wishes in the most important area of your life, being a mom.
Thank you, Coach.
Conversations from the world of women's sports. This is Wisp Sports Radio.
Follow and comment on social media. Twitter is at Wisp Sports. My Twitter is at Miller12Shannon. My Facebook and Instagram is at Coach Shannon Miller. My website is CoachShannonMiller.com. And you can find links in the show notes for this episode at wisports.com and find more coverage of women's sport. Thank you for listening and supporting women in sport everywhere.
There's no limit to